this should happen like this. It's all our imagination, our kind of thinking, whether it's creative or otherwise. And some of the time when that things do not fall in line, it doesn't happen. Our expectations are broken. Our expectations may crumble, and we feel disappointed, and we even think that's a failure. Because failure is nothing but certain things not happening as per our desired expectations. But who is at fault? Swami says, who asked you to expect certain things? Our expectation, whatever we may call target, we may call it our goal, whatever it is, itself, if it is not there properly set, then your setting is wrong. The setting is wrong. How can you tune wrong? Tune rightly. Now, for example, was worried that recording was not going on. Now I see that recording has started. Therefore, here, similarly, any such instances, this also we can say Sai incidents, or it's like that continuous effort. See, what is important is our efforts should not weaken, should not stop on any account. It happens, it doesn't happen, because all these things are under the control of Swami, the superpower, whatever we may call. Therefore, the Swami also says, many times people come to me, see my miracles, some people accept it, some people only come for that, and after that, again, if suppose they are not again granted interview, or they are not given some medallion, or some locket, or some vibhuti or something, they go away. Because they come with only expectation of something. And if that is not there every time, frequently, or more number of times, then people tend to maybe go away or tend to get deflected. And about what Swami says, miracles are my natural act and natural form. I do not have to create something just in order that I please somebody. It just comes that as a blessing I do it. Miracles are my natural form. It is like my visiting card. Many a time, whenever in your meeting places, in the offices, in the particularly marketing field and the development line, when you go and meet somebody, some client, some customer, first time you send him your visiting card. You get beautiful visiting card printed, beautiful logo, beautiful printed paper. All these things you choose so that you want it to be attractive. So that the first time you are meeting a good customer or a big customer, he should get impressed with you. It is to create an impression on him or her. Therefore, Swami also says, my this thing is when a devotee comes to me, sometimes the devotee already comes to me with full faith. He doesn't need any of these miracles. He doesn't need even interview. He doesn't need any of these things because already has been granted inner view. Instead of interview, Swami used to say, I give interview only for such people, otherwise who cannot just believe me. But people who already have steadfast belief in me, no need for the interviews for them. It is the inner view. I grant them the inner view with which they can understand and feel the pulsation of my bliss and grace more effectively. And about Swami also says, I have come to transform you all, not just punish and just give kind of admonishing to you. And we have hardly seen Swami admonishing, retributing, or something like that. Like many times we do ordinarily. Sometimes when something is not done properly, maybe it's our wrong instructions, maybe wrong directions. But somebody, if they have not done it properly, the first thing is that we accuse them that you are useless, you are foolish, you are not done this properly. But Swami never used to do that. And Swami used to say, my this thing is to make you understand why the fault happened and where the mistake happened and why it happened, what is the source and how is it possible to correct it and redo it properly. So redoing it properly is the one of what we call transformation and not to punish anybody. I have enough patience to wait. Swami says, this is what all of us lack. We lack patience. Everything we want instantly. In this world of instant success, instant goodness, and instant richness, everything we want instantly. Now, we do not have patience to wait. And anything we order, suppose something we order does not come in 10 minutes, we say, okay, take it back, or we don't want. or compensate. See, the thing is, we have hardly any kind of patience. And Swami says patience is a very important quality in us because good results do come when you wait for it patiently. Therefore, patience is the very essence of any developmental kind of activity. You have to do your work, wait for the result, or don't even wait for the result. Results will happen. It has to happen. It will happen. Therefore, we don't have to even do that. We have to have patience. And Swami used to jokingly say, if you lack patience, what happens? Tomorrow you will have so-called frustration, disappointment, and then we see a lot of people even getting kind of desperate, isolated, and all that sorts of things, get into mental depression, and even get into a consultation with a psychiatrist, or even get admitted into a hospital. That means they are even admitted as inpatient. Therefore, if you are impatient, you will have to become a impatient. Now, if you want to avoid being impatient in hospital, you have to gather patience and not being impatient. Patience is a wonderful quality. And Swami also says that I have enough patience to wait. And he says, if somebody says, Swami, I have to wait in the line for 2 hours, I have to wait here and there to come and sit in the darshan hall. Swami says, you have stayed only a few hours. You are waiting here, Prashanti Nilayam, or in order to come to this place, in the railway station, bus stand, or whatever place. But in order you come here, I have been waiting for you for ages, for your several months. I have been waiting for you, and now you have come. Yes, I am happy. Because Swami says, I am happy you have come. Not that we are happy by going there. Swami equally says, I am equally happy, or rather more happy than you, that you have come here. And patience is an important thing in our regular day-to-day life also. Because most of the things that we do in a hurry. And Swami used to say, hurry, worry, curry. And he used to say this, hurry, worry, curry. Because when you are in hurry, when things don't happen, then we become worried. And then you become very worried. Then, like what happens is, like a curry which is not properly baked or something, you end up eating something which is not properly baked. And similarly, when you are in hurry, that means haste makes waste. Because haste, whenever do things in haste, haste makes waste. Because these are all words of wisdom. Swami used to say, don't hurry, but do fast. Don't hurry doesn't mean do it lazily or do it very slowly. Do it with alertness. Alertness is important, and do it with alacrity. The alacrity or the speed with which you do things should be good, but not haste. Haste is doing things in a rush of madness, rush of doing things without thinking about it. And Swami says, I have enough patience to wait, and you also cultivate that. And he says, I am ready to wait until all of you transform as God and good people, as godly and good people. So Swami says, I am ready to wait here until each one of you transforms yourself and changes yourself. So don't think that one day you come and sit in the bhajan line or bhajan the bhajan, or you go to satsang, you listen for some time, you go to some temple, you go here and there, do some jhana meditation. That things may not happen as per what you expected. He says, Swami, I couldn't improve, I could not change my nature. And he says, it is just not that easy. You have to go on doing it, redoing it, like every day. We go on taking either coffee or tea, breakfast, lunch, dinner. We have been doing ever since that we have been born. And are we sometimes sick of it? Or do we leave a breakfast? Do we skip a lunch or a dinner? We go on doing it. Why not namasmarana? Why not satsanga? Go on doing it more and more, continuously, repeatedly, frequently. And this is what Swami also says, that Swami says, when I am ready to do. But if you have to get transformed, then the task is not that I want to do that. You also have to have interest and initiative. If you do not have initiative in you, then I may not be able to transform you fully. But do you have that interest? Do you have the time for it? Do you have the patience? Do you have the trust in me? Again, this word trust. The trust is a very important thing. So many a time, we use the word trust loosely. We think, oh, we trust you, do it. As long as things are going all right, and he is all right, or that person's whatever behavior or whatever activities are all right, then we accept it. That acceptance we think is a trust. And sometimes it is not. No, I don't trust you anymore. However, we use it even with God. Our relationship with God is business-like. And Swami says, I'm not your business partner. We trust God as long as God is blessing us with lot of things. Maybe in our job, a promotion, suppose increment, maybe some transfer, maybe some house, maybe some allowances, maybe lot of things, maybe our family, good life, children, good wife, good husband. And all these things we want even in our relationship management. That's why today there is what's called RM or the CRM, customer relationship management, or employee relationship management, or even HRM, human relationship management. Therefore, all these things that we expect that things to happen as per what we think or what we want. And thus the word trust is misused. There is a lot of mistrust in us. We mistrust more than trust. But God says, I trust people more than the people trust me. Because the devotees are trusting me as a particular quantity, I trust them 100 times more. Because of which I have given them, or blessed them, or endowed them with intelligence, memory, good looking, attractive kind of appearance, and lot of efficiency. I have given them. And I have given to those people all these things, but whereas they do not have the trust, and they always think that it is because of me. And because of me, I am able to do this, I am endowed with this, I am born of a high culturally, good cultured, good family, and I have studied in the best of the institutions, and I have done this, I have done this. The ego, the pride that gets inbuilt with us, that kills and crushes us. And one thing important, even in our regular day-to-day life and our workplace, is how the ego, we cannot say you can become egoless. The egolessness is one of the higher order, but it is not easy. The pride or ego or something cannot go away in an instant. For only thing, we have to keep it in a balance, keep it under our control. And Swami says, I trust my devotees much more than they do. And he says, even many of his closest devotees who used to reside in the Prasanthi Nilayam, many a time when Swami used to say something, they even used to just think it with a little bit of, Swami has said this, whether he is going to do that. The Swami used to say, I am coming to your house. Most of the devotees who are with him for even 30, 40 years, Swami has said this, but will he do it? It happened even in Shirdi Baba time. A lot of Shirdi Baba's devotees, when Swami said, I am coming here, go and deliver, do this feasting in your house and do this ceremony. I am coming there with 2 people, 3 people. Now, people did not sometimes think that Sai Baba has said this, will it be possible? Will he do it? Now, the question mark, we put question marks for everything. We go on putting questions, and everything problem. And we don't have the time and the patience or the interest to have the solution for it or think properly about it. And therefore, we get lost in the mirage of questions. And Swami says that, yes, I always forgive and forget people, forgive and forget. That means I do not keep the mistakes people have done, the wrongs that they have done. I always keep them rewarding. And he says that man may forget God. Man, most of us, we do that. We are all equally sinners in that. We all forget God very, very easily and very, I would say, without much effort. We are tendency of forgetting God when our things are happening all right. Adversities are the only test and tools for going near to God many a time. Let's say Kunti, the mother of Pandavas, used to ask Krishna that, Krishna, whatever it is, don't go away from me, and don't give me a kingdom, don't give me this, don't give me riches, don't give me anything. Let adversities be with me. So in the times of adversity, we think of God more. We are closer to Him than other times. And therefore, Swami also says that people may think just because I give interview to somebody, just because I speak to somebody, that they are more closer to me. He says, every one of you, whether you call yourself devotee or not, whether you come to Prashanti Nilayam or not, and whether you worship me in a photo or Sai Baba or not, you are all close to me. You are all close to me. And it is like a shepherd taking hundreds of sheep for grazing in the forest. And for him, he'll keep a kind of attention on all the 100 sheep, but much more so on one or two or three, which gets stranded here and there, which get lost, which get out of the crowd, and they are little stray. And when we do also go astray, many times, most of the time, and when we go astray, people who go astray, Swami keeps more attention. He calls them and prunes them and tries to correct them. Therefore, it's the last sheep, that is LOST, the last sheep, not the LASD, last sheep, the LOST sheep gets the better attention. And Swami, like any mother, if she has several children, she tends to care more for the weakest, for the sick child, rather than the other child which is healthy, which is sprightly, and which is all right. And therefore, it is not any partiality. Swami says there is nothing word like partiality in my dictionary. I am equally affectionate and equally blessing every one of you. And Swami says, life is a game, play it. Because life is a game, play it. Life is a journey, undertake the journey. And life is something which you have to enjoy. Life is to be enjoyed. Not, we say, somebody, when you say, how is your life? Most of the time, we don't know the answer. Some people say, life is very good. Sometimes say, okay. And sometimes say, okay, going on. So he says, don't say going on. See, going on also is the kind of an activity. You start liking it. When you start liking it, you will enjoy. Start to enjoy, you have to start liking it. Many times the people say, if it is to my liking, I will then like it. Then, see, liking what you like is not important. See, starting to like everything, then you enjoy everything, and everything becomes liking to you, and you start liking everything. Now, start liking everything, and when you do that, when you start liking everyone across you, everyone along you, everyone in your company, everyone in your office, everyone in your neighborhood, then what happens? This love on others, it's a reciprocal thing. And when you love everyone, you will not have any difference with them. Even if you have some difference, you will try to go and console them, or you try to talk to them, you will try to remove the differences, so that you are in the equal wavelength of the love. For the communication is that way. Many times the communication we say is a barrier, but communication is an effective tool. Only thing is, we have to keep it in the proper frequency and proper wavelength. And Swami also says, do not exhibit, but exemplify. Many a time, whatever little things we have the habit of parading it and exhibiting it, like keeping it in the kind of an exhibition. He said, do not exhibit, but exemplify. What is exemplify? That means whatever your qualities are there, good qualities, everything, go on doing it, exemplify, go on making it more, amplify. Exemplify is more and more amplifying. And he says, many a time when people ask, you do something, we have the tendency, because we want to be careful, we want to be safe. Many times, whenever our boss or somebody in the office or somebody in the Seva Dal or somebody gives us instruction, they say, you try to do. Swami said, don't use your try to do, just do. He says nothing like try to do, because he says, try to do, just say, yes, I am doing, accept it, and do that job responsibly and effectively. And life is a big teacher. And life is a very big teacher, because in life, we don't think that we are just because left our colleges, had some degree, and working in some job with some designation, good salary, some good office. But does it end? No, life is a continuous teacher, life is a continuous journey. We go on learning every day. We are all students. None of us have become masters. You may acquire a master's degree, but we are not masters. We are all just students. We are all just beginners. We are all just learning. And most of us, we may be sitting in the learning class, in the classroom, but we are not learning. We are just going, putting in our attendance, physical attendance, and mental attendance is lacking, and we come out. And then we write exams, maybe get some marks, and maybe get degrees and other certification. But it is not enough. Therefore, we have to go on navigating. Life is necessary. Life is a teacher. And Swami says, life is just not for living. Somebody, when we say, yes, we are just living. Still living, even the ordinary creatures, the animals, they also live. Nobody remembers them. But for human beings, it is just not life is living. But living is not necessary, but navigation. Life should become navigated life. Like we use navigation now in our GPS and other things, in our computer or in our mobile phone. Simply we have to navigate ourselves in the proper direction and then reach that particular destination efficiently, effectively. And Swami says other things, I will take care. When Swami says, I will take care, just don't question, Swami, how much you will take care? This much, that much, how much, when? No. I will take care means he will take care. That's all. And he will be taking care of. Otherwise, we would not have existed until now, whatever we are. And our tongue. Swami says, keep your tongue under control. It's a very important thing. Because many times they say, we used to say, pen is sharper than sword. And pen means writing. And Swami says, tongue is sharper than the pen, sharper than the sword, sharper than anything. It hurts more. And for you have to conquer the tongue. When the tongue is conquered, the entire world or the victory is yours. Conquer your tongue. And life is awareness. Because many a time, what is life? Life, we have to become aware of things, what we are doing. Many times I was not aware. This is a common thing we say. When somebody asks us, did you know this? We would not have bothered to know this. We say we are not aware of this. But life is a continuous awareness program. For awareness, we have to keep ourselves attentive, and awareness will have to be drawing in, and we have to keep ourselves in awareness. And some uses the other beautiful word, why fear when I am here? Again, this is coming back to the trust. Then Swami says, when you are my devotee, when you have been blessed to become my devotee, when I have drawn you as my devotee, it is not that you have come to me just as such. It is just not that somebody has told you you have just come. Somebody has given you a photo of Swami Baba, you have come. No. It is, I have made it possible for you to be drawn to me as my devotee. And then when you come here, why fear when I am here? He says, leave all your fears. And I am here. I am going to look after all your needs. Then again, Swami says, fear. What type of people should fear? Only the people who are criminals, who are doing wrong things, people who are always untruthful, who are unfaithful, insincere. They are the people to be fearsome, or people who are lazy, people unintelligent, people who are foolish. And when it is not so, why should you fear? Fear is the biggest, again, barricade for all of us for our development. Again, there are a lot of types of fears. Fears of failure, fears of whatever thing that we don't get properly, fears of appointment, fears of disappointment, fears of failure, fears of success. There is also what is called fears of success. Many people do not want to succeed. Fear of promotion, fear of transfer, fear of even our living. Now, leave all this fear. Why fear when I am here? And Swami says, do things just right always. Do things just right always. Instead of trying to repeat it, many times when we do not do the things right first time, then we are asked to repeat, we are asked to redo. Instead of trying to do that, do things just right always. And this is also in management language, we say just in time. That means everything to be done properly and rightly, and at the right time, at the right place, and right action. Right action, and it has to be done at the right time, at the right place. And only when all these things are right, then the result that what you get will also be appropriately right. And about just another 5 minutes for today's topic. The 10 commandments For Sai youth, Swami has said, the 10 commandments follow like this. Before that, for most of us, we acquire degrees, we acquire so-called knowledge, we acquire so many things from different places. But what we don't acquire, or what we don't learn, or what is not taught in any of our schools and colleges is common sense. Therefore, many a time people use that, you fellow, you don't have even common sense. What is this common sense? And most of the time, we all lack in the common sense. And it is not taught even in the Harvard schools of management. And it is a joke that people used to say that one thing lacking in the Harvard School of Management students is common sense, because it's hardly taught. But what the corporate companies and the industries, they always dwell upon is, we want people with a proper common sense. The common sense is the one where you are able to act properly, rightly, at the particular situation as warranted by the situation. That's why we do call it as situation management. That means various situations require different types of handling things. Therefore, situations management. The 10 commandments are, after reading this, we'll be stopping for today. Speak the truth. Swami always used to say, speak the truth, act righteously. One is Satya, another is Dharma. Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, Ahimsa. These are all the emblems. So just seeing the logo of Swami's emblem, that itself is enough. Remember all that. Speak the truth and act righteously. Righteously means, what is righteous? Righteous is whatever your heart says is right, not what your mind or intellect says. Because it interprets, it mutates. Like our today corona mutation. What is that mutation? The mind mutates things. It goes on doing distortive images of various things. Instead of speak the truth, act righteously. That's why Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat. Satyam apriyam na bhuyat. Sometimes when the truth, if it is spoken, if you're going to harm somebody, then at that time, don't say that you say untruth. You hide the truth, and only for that particular purpose. And this will lead to Shanti. That is, speak the truth, act righteously, then you will get Shanti. That is what is called Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Then, sterling human character. The second commandment, Swami says, you have to have a wonderful human character. Because you may become anything else. You may be a director of a company, president, vice president. You may occupy very high positions in government. And you are a master and doctorate degree from any of the biggest and the best universities in the world. But if you are not human, then that means if you are not fit to be a human being, all your accolades, all your other things, whatever we had as some kind of our designation and degree, they're all waste. He says sterling human character. That is purity of thoughts, speech, and it is sacred, it is very holy, and action. We should be purity of thought and word and action and speech. Then third, give up vices, become wise and wealthy. See, give up vices, VICES. That means the bad things, the bad habits. But is it easy? Not easy. That's why what is easy, sometimes we may do. But what is difficult? Give up vices. How do we give up vices? Again, this is a subject by itself. Because vices do not happen by itself. It's a continuous kind of our accumulation of habits. Because habit is one thing which we never leave it from us. Habit is HABIT. Therefore, Swami used to say, you leave H, a bit remains. You leave A, again bit remains. You take out B, it remains. A habit is something which always pervades us and it always goes with us. And therefore, we have to go on continuously making effort to give up vices. Whatever vices, could be smoking, drinking, and maybe betting, all sorts of vices. And it's not that people who are doing this are not aware of it. They do know it is not good. But in spite of knowing it, we are tempted to continue with that. Because one day if you don't do it, you think, what will happen? Now give up vices and become wise. Then if you leave the vices, give up the vices, then we will become wise. That is WYSE, wise and wealthy. If you want to become wise and wealthy, then you have to give up your vices. Number 4, wherever your elderly people, mother, father, teacher, guest, everybody has God. Oh, Matru Deva Bhava, Pitu Deva Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava, as God. Everybody as God. And the Swami used to say, where a wife, when you are selecting, or a husband, it could be a selection. Whereas you can't select your mother or father. They are there before you. They are the cause for you, cause for whatever you are. For you have to remember them and revere them as God. The next is the fifth one, practice simple living. Because when you adopt our complex and luxurious life from the beginning, it may be in the beginning possible. After some time, you are not able to cope with it. Then you will become miserable. Instead of that, practice simple living and high thinking. And it's in the form of dress, food, sleep, speech, and have the good dress, white and pure and clean. That's why Swami used to say white, the uniform for the students and others or Sevadal, because white means purity, white means good, white means clean and also sober. And no imitation of the models and the film actors and others. Because many a time we do that as a fashion. For fashion, then will spoil us more than anything else because we cannot go on doing it continuously. Instead of that, passion, have passion for God. Seek good company. Whenever we move, try to select good friends and neutral feelings have to be there. Have good friends and have good feelings about every one of them. And there should be no kind of personal attraction on anyone, particularly the women and the men, that better they avoid mutual attraction to each other. Mutual respect is okay. Mutual affection is fine. And our Swami used to say, no, nothing like living relationships. Instead of that, if at all you want to get married, marry and be happy instead of having a so-called friendly or living relationship. Undertake selfless service. Serve poor, sick, needy, transform love into service. And respect all religions. Don't say this religion is small or big or better. No, you cannot compare. All religions are equally good. Remove I and mine. Use we or us or ours, and then finally should become his. And respect all religions. Talk less, work more. This is most of the time that most of us we are tempted to do this. See, but people who work, they will not have time to talk. And the people who talk more, they will have less work to do or they don't do proper work at all. Talk less, work more. But if you have to talk at all, talk as much effectively, as much required for particularly doing that work. Talk less, work more. And silence is golden. And whenever possible, have silence and increases our memory power and also increase our energy. And the ninth point is, the 10th point, the last commandment, sealing on desire. Again, this is another subject which you have taken a separate topic itself, maybe in the future sessions, sealing on desire. Because sealing on desire is no wastage of whatever you are doing, and we'll have to go on doing the wastage. We have to avoid wastage in food, wastage in money, wastage of water, wastage of our time, and wastage of our energy. And sealing on desire, when we are cutting down some of these things, when all your so-called the Ashtamadas, they are the cause for all our desires. And when we are putting a ceiling, if possible, we have to remove the desires as a weed. And if it is not possible, at least put a ceiling on that and keep it under your control instead of it controlling us. For with this, and in the next session, we have some more points which we can go and we can modify and exemplify on that. We'll start with what is called next week ASK, that is the Ask Triangle. The attitudes, the skills and knowledge triangle, that relationship, and then we may take up something between the neuro-linguistic program, NLP, and also we'll take it on some kind of the management perspectives of certain good points which Swami has covered in various discourses. Sai Ram, with this we are ending this session today, and one bhajan, and we are closing.
Sai Ram once again. Jai Sai Ram, Jai Sai Ram, Premavatara, Sai Avatara, Jai Sai Ram, जय साई राम। रामावतार साई रघुरामा, कृष्णावतार साई घनश्यामा, शिवावतार साई शिवरामा, सर्वावतार सत्य साई रामा, सर्वावतार सत्य साई रामा। जय साई राम, जय साई राम। साई राम, थैंक यू।
Okay, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram to all of you. Thank you for this session. Okay, and next week, as I said, we'll take up with SWOT analysis and other thing, how it applies to each of us in our regular day-to-day life. The ask triangle, the SWOT analysis, and strategic management, certain things. All these principles also we will discuss during next session. Sai Ram, thank you.
Sai Ram. Thank you.
Sai Ram.